Rambo Last Blood is the 5th installment in the Rambo movie series, with the first movie in the Rambo series releasing almost 40 years ago. Wow, I wish I was there when that came out. Last Blood takes place 11 years after the events of the 4th movie, where John Rambo is now retired and living a peaceful life on a farm. But that peace gets disturbed when his niece gets kidnapped by the Mexican cartel, and because she feels like a daughter to him as is the only family he's got, Rambo unleashes and tries to do whatever he can to bring her back. I unfortunately did not have the privilege of growing up with Rambo. The first 3 movies released way before I was born, and I wasn't old enough to catch the 4th movie, which released back in 2008. And because of this, I don't have a really deep connection with this character, as I'm sure a lot of people do. And so, this movie might mean more to them than it will to me. This was my first Rambo movie and the only one that I've ever seen. I was gonna watch the other movies, I just didn't get the chance to, but even still, I still really enjoy this movie. Now, critics seem to hate it, but the audience seem to love it. I don't know why the critics dislike this movie, but I really liked it, and that's all that matters to me. Now, do you need to watch the other movies before this one? I feel like you do, because there are some references in this movie, and you get to learn more about this character and his life before this kind of old man feel that he has in this movie. And you can really tell because in Last Blood, Rambo definitely shows his age. He's not as nimble as he used to. He has to get used to modern trends, and he needs to stop writing letters because writing letters is just so out of fashion. It's all text now. And because of this, there's not a whole lot of action in this movie, at least not as much as I expected there to be. It's kind of like Jackie Chan with The Foreigner. Great movie, by the way. But what's similar with these two is that they are not as fiery as they used to be. So it's kind of less about the action now and more about the acting and the story, which I honestly don't mind and I can completely understand. Because Sylvester Stallone is just amazing in this movie, like he always is, and the same goes with the actor that played his niece. I mean, she had to do a lot in this movie, and she was awesome as well. This movie is shorter than the average movie, but it really didn't feel that way, and this is mostly because the beginning was kind of slow, like it was pretty slow paced, but there were a lot of emotional aspects as well, and I kind of expected these emotional aspects in this movie, but not in the way that it was presented to me. And then, oh my god, it finally happened. Rambo unleashes in a glorious, over-the-top bloodbath in the final act. It almost feels like Home Alone, just the more graphic and bloody version of it. And oh my god, it was awesome. And I guess it's what most people wanted to see in the first place. Just Rambo going insane, seeking revenge, just coming out with all these creative ways to kill. It's almost like John Wick. He reminds me so much of John Wick. But I guess before John Wick, we had Rambo, since Rambo technically came before John Wick, but whatever, that's another topic for another day. But I really didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did. It was very character and story oriented, and the story was great, and it was a real eye-opener for me. It really showed the reality of the situation of what is going on in Mexico or anywhere else in that matter. It is a very graphic and bloody movie, but not as graphic as I thought it would be. For instance, when something graphic really happened on screen, it would just most of the time cut away from that immediately, Overall, I think this movie has a bit of everything. Emotion, action, good story, and acting. It's a movie that captivated me the whole time. And, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a bloody fun and good time. I'm going to give Rambo Last Blood an A-. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have you seen Rambo Last Blood? What did you think about it? Please leave a comment on your thoughts below. Like the video if you liked it, and drop a sub to help the channel out. Also, feel free to check out my previous video. Until next time.